Representing the 15 to 23 foot class in the center console category, the Stuart Boatworks 23 has an overall length of 23 feet 3 inches, a beam of 8 feet 6 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 300. Built for a smooth ride when the waters churn up offshore, she has a draft of 18 inches, a dead rise of 17 degrees, a dry weight of 4,500 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 100 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, Dave East and Rick Riles.
We're aboard the Stuart Boatworks 23, and you and I have spent more than one day in the Bahamas, and you see a lot of boats that look very, very similar to this, but what this boat is, it's a step up from what those boats are, and they're famous over there, but this boat is a little bit better.
Very similar hull though, Dave, and let me tell you why that's important. In the Bahamas, your boat is your primary mode of transportation. It's not your toy. So we know the hull is proven. But they've almost taken this boat to a yacht quality. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yes.
We've got the great running hull, but man, is it finished nice inside.
It is. The spray rail that they have at the bow. I didn't see any water come up and over, but I saw you shoot water 40 feet out to both sides of the boat. This boat stays dry in a head sea and in a following sea.
And she rides good in a head sea because she's got a real deep V. Now, a deep V is, like everything in a boat, a compromise. She's a great head sea boat, okay, which is my preference. I always want a good head sea boat because I can get offshore. This is an offshore boat.
Oh, it's absolutely a dedicated offshore boat. All right, let's start looking at the interior, how they've laid this out, starting up here at the bow with the seating.
I like this bow seating for a couple of reasons. This is a perfect height for me to stand on or throw a cast net and be very, very comfortable. I'm still in the boat. They thought this area through real well. I like the bow seating.
Well, not just the height of the seating, they got the height of the gunnel right too, because the family's gonna sit up here, your wife or your kids. This is the exact height that needs to be a comfortable backrest. But if you look at the overall fit and finish of this boat, let's face it, it's gorgeous on the inside.
I think we described it best when we called it yacht quality.
Yes, absolutely.
See, let me show you what I mean. You see how everything's labeled, everything is together. But let me teach you something. The batteries are under here and the battery switches are under here. That means very minimal cable between the battery and the switch. It's just a smart thing.
Under the console, every time you go down in there, you're gonna see the batteries. They're easy to look at, they're easy to check, they're easy to maintain.
Well, you're right. And you know what your number one issue is gonna be with batteries in a boat is gonna be corrosion at your terminal. You can avoid a lot of that if you stay on top of it because you look at it every time you go in the console.
Now, look at this helm seat. It's really nothing spectacular, but it fits the boat. It doesn't need to be any more than this. It's a great place to lean. It's got a little bit of storage underneath. Your rod holders are in the back. Your backrest is removable. Very simple, but you know what? I'm not sure I would do anything different than what they've already done. And for a 23-foot boat, they decided to go with a pair of 150s. Most of these boats will be powered by a big single, like a 300 or something like that. There are times when you may want a twin engine set up, and you can do it with this 23-foot boat. Also, if you're live baiting and you get over a wreck, shut one engine off. There's no reason to run a big 300 when you have a pair of 150s. You shut one off, now you're only running on a single 150, so you're gonna save some fuel.
Well, you're also gonna eliminate sea anchors. Think about that. A 300 naturally throws a bigger wheel and idles a little faster than a 150 does. And the 150 is gonna enable you to not pull sea anchors to keep your live baits in the water. That's just what you want. That makes them look natural.
Well, 23-foot boat that can run on twins, we don't see it very often, but if you want that option, it's a good thing that Stuart offers that.
Now, before we leave, let me show you why an uncluttered transom works. You're sitting there, I'm standing here. An uncluttered transom means there's nothing to stumble or trip over when you've got to get across the boat in a hurry.
Well, look how much more room it leaves you here in the cockpit of the boat as well. If we're going to be bottom fishing, even if we're trolling, the more room you have back here, the better fishing boat this is.
This 23-foot boat is laid out like a fisherman wants a 23-foot boat. She's got great application offshore.
Well, not only the application offshore, if you're looking for a boat that has that level of fit and finish, that's a step above what's out there in the market right now, this boat fits that bill.
You're saying she's got the wow factor, aren't you?
Absolutely.
You look at her and you go, wow, that's really pretty. I know exactly what you're talking about.